If you're recovering from an injury, looking to add cross-training to your routine, or simply seeking a low-impact way to start running, you're in the right place. In this video, I'll share key insights on deep water running from studies and personal experience. Plus, I'll share my top tips to help you succeed. Deep water running mimics the mechanics of land running without your feet ever touching the ground. So it's essentially zero impact, a very low risk way of staying fit. But why choose deep water running over other, perhaps more convenient forms of cross training? Well, the research suggests that deep water running is the most effective way for runners to maintain fitness and, importantly, running economy as well. A study from '97 explored deep water running's effects on trained runners over a 4-week period. So the participants trained 5 to 6 times a week using this training program, and their intensity was gauged using a 5-point RPE scale, which was developed specifically for deep water running. The results showed no significant differences in their 5K run time, lactate threshold, or VO2 max. Another study published in '96 is particularly relevant because it measured running economy and body composition as well as all the other fitness markers. It divided participants into 2 groups. One ran on land and the other ran exclusively in water. Both groups trained 5 days a week over 6 weeks, alternating between a 30-minute session at 90 to 100% VO2 max and a 60-minute session at 70 to 75% of VO2 max. The researchers found no significant differences between the land and water running groups in VO2 max, ventilatory threshold, running economy, maximal blood glucose, blood lactate, or body composition. And lastly, a systematic review of 11 clinical trials confirmed everything that the studies I just mentioned found, but additionally found that untrained individuals can make significant gains in their fitness through deep water running alone and at the same rate as they would have done on the land. All of this is really good news for we runners who are injured, but also for people who are just starting out running. Like if you're really overweight, for instance, these studies suggest you can gain just as much fitness just by deep water running without any of the risks of running, which is really good news. It also means there's no need to freak out about losing fitness over injuries. Some of these other studies I read found that fitness can be maintained or even improved for up to 8 weeks. For deep water running, you'll need a flotation belt to help keep you buoyant, and it'll allow you to focus on your form a lot more, because without it you find you just have to go way too hard to stay afloat. So you definitely need a flotation belt. And if you're like me and swim in a small domestic pool, I would recommend using a tether as well. So I just have a harness here and I clip on a rope. So I've got a little plastic carabiner on the end of the rope, and I just attach myself to the wall so I stay stationary as I do it. Otherwise, I just find I have to turn around too often and it's just annoying. So those are the only 2 things you need to get started really, but I would recommend getting some bone conducting headphones. Deep water running can be mind-numbingly boring, particularly at the start, and being able to listen to some podcasts and music makes a big difference. In terms of technique, we want to try and mimic our land running form as much as possible. So that means keeping an upright posture, engaging our core, swinging our arms as we normally would. Because remember, on land, our center of gravity is at our hips, whereas when we're in the water, our buoyancy center is at our lungs. And what that's going to do is, it's going to make us want to lean forward too far and also bend our back a bit, which we don't want. So it takes concentration to keep that core engaged and stay upright. And we also want to be focusing on our leg swing, so the up and down cycling. So again, we want to be mimicking our land form as much as possible, except we're not going to come out as far in front as we normally do. So we want to keep the heel nice and close to the butt and just be going up and down like this with both legs, obviously. In terms of workout structure, I definitely recommend incorporating some intervals for 2 reasons. Intervals are much more engaging. If I just went out and did an hour easy run in the pool, for instance, it's mind-numbingly boring. So it makes the time pass much faster doing intervals. but also it's vital to maintain our VO2 max. So all of the studies I mentioned before, they all incorporate some really hard intervals. And what I've found is I can actually do a lot more intensity in the pool than I would do on the land. And that's because there's much less muscle damage. So I've actually been doing pretty intense workouts every single day because I don't need the same recovery time as I do on land. In terms of gauging intensity, I definitely recommend using rate of perceived exertion. You'll find that in the pool, your heartbeat will be 10 to 15 beats lower, but even with RPE, I found I had to kind of recalibrate my RPE scale anyway. And that's because everything feels a little bit harder in the pool, because without that sense of movement, you just have to concentrate a lot harder to maintain an effort. It's a much greater mental challenge. So RPE scale is the way to go, I think, but you do have to concentrate and kind of recalibrate your effort. Now, to increase the intensity is really simple. You just increase your cadence. So if you're not tethered to a wall, what's really important is not to increase intensity by trying to increase the speed at which you move through the water, because you're meant to be going really slowly. Don't use your speed through the water as a gauge. It's all about your cadence, and pay close attention to your breathing and effort levels. Well, I hope you're feeling confident enough to give deep water running a try, because it is the best way of maintaining fitness for runners, but it's also a great way of cross-training, and even getting into running is a really low-risk way of building up that resilience and fitness. Have fun, and I'll see you next time.